Commander Jake Morrison stared at the massive ships floating in space ahead of him. His small scout ship, the USS Defiant, looked like a tiny bug next to the alien fleet. 200 warships stretched across the darkness, each one bigger than anything humans had ever built. "Amy, are you getting readings on those ships?" Jake asked his communications officer. Lieutenant Amy Rodriguez checked her screens. Her face went pale. "Sir, each of those ships is at least 3 times the size of our biggest battleship. I count 200 vessels total." Chief Engineer Ben Parker wiped sweat from his forehead. "Commander, our engines are barely holding together. If we need to run, I'm not sure we can outrun those monsters." Jake took a deep breath. The alien fleet had appeared near the human colony of Kepler Station 3 days ago. Earth Command had sent the Defiant to make contact. It was supposed to be a peaceful meeting. But looking at all those weapons pointed their way, Jake had his doubts. The largest alien ship was massive beyond belief. It looked like a floating city made of dark metal and glowing lights. Strange symbols covered its hull. Jake had never seen anything like it. "Open a channel to the lead ship," Jake ordered. "Let's try to talk to them." Amy's fingers danced over her controls. "Channel open, sir." "This is Commander Jake Morrison of the United Earth Defense Force," Jake said into his microphone. "We come in peace. Please respond." For several minutes, nothing happened. The alien ships just floated there, silent and threatening. Then suddenly, Amy's console lit up. "Sir, they're responding, but they're also scanning us. I mean really scanning us. They're looking at everything. Our weapons, our engines, even our food supplies." "Put their message through," Jake said. The main screen flickered, and suddenly Jake was looking at the most terrifying creature he had ever seen. The alien was tall and thin, with 4 arms and skin that looked like gray leather. Its eyes were bright yellow and seemed to glow in the dark. When it spoke, its voice sounded like grinding metal. "I am Admiral Kethvar Zul of the Zephyrian Empire," the creature said. "You will explain why you dare approach our fleet, human." The way it said human made Jake's skin crawl, like the word tasted bad in the alien's mouth. "We received reports of your arrival near our colony," Jake replied, trying to keep his voice steady. "We wanted to welcome you and discuss peaceful relations between our species." The alien admiral stared at Jake for a long moment. Then something amazing happened. The creature began to laugh. It was a horrible sound, like metal scraping against stone. Soon, other voices joined in. The entire bridge of the alien ship was filled with laughter. "Did you hear that?" Admiral Zul said to someone off-screen. "The primitive thinks it can discuss relations with us, as if we are equals." Jake felt anger building in his chest, but he forced himself to stay calm. "We may be new to space travel, but we're not primitive. Our species has much to offer." "Much to offer?" Admiral Zul laughed again. "We have been studying your pathetic ships and weapons. Your most powerful vessel could not scratch the paint on our smallest scout ship. Your weapons are like toys. Your technology is thousands of years behind ours." The Admiral turned to speak with other aliens on his bridge. Jake could hear them talking, even though he couldn't understand their language. They sounded amused, like adults watching children play with sticks. "Commander," Amy whispered, "I'm picking up transmissions between their ships. They're sharing data about us. And sir, they're laughing. All of them." Admiral Zul turned back to face Jake. "Human Commander, I will make this simple for your primitive mind to understand. We are the Zephyrian Empire. We have conquered 1,000 worlds. We have destroyed species far more advanced than yours. You exist only because we allow it." The alien leaned closer to the screen. "We give you one chance. Surrender your colonies. Submit to our rule. Become our slaves. Do this, and some of your species may survive." Jake felt his heart pounding. "And if we refuse, then you will be exterminated like the insects you are," Admiral Zul said with a cold smile. "We will start with your nearest colony. Then we will move to your next world, and your next, until we reach your home planet and burn it to ash." You can't be serious, Jake said. We've done nothing to you. We only wanted to talk. Talk? The Admiral's laugh was worse than before. Insects do not talk with gods. Insects are stepped on. He gestured to someone off-screen. Show the human what real power looks like. The massive alien ship began to glow. Energy built up along its hull until bright light poured from weapons Jake couldn't even identify. A beam of pure energy shot out and struck a nearby asteroid. The rock, which had been the size of a city, simply vanished. Not destroyed, just gone, as if it had never existed. That was our weakest weapon, Admiral Zool said. Imagine what our strongest can do to your worlds. Jake stared at the empty space where the asteroid had been. His mouth was dry, his hands were shaking, but he managed to speak. I need to report this to my superiors, he said. Yes, run back to your masters, Admiral Zool said. Tell them what you have seen. Tell them they have 7 of your days to surrender. After that, we will demonstrate our power on your colonies. The transmission ended. The screen went black. Jake sat in his captain's chair, stunned. Around him, his crew looked just as shocked. Ben, can we get out of here? Jake asked quietly. I'll push the engines as hard as I can, sir, the engineer replied. Amy, start recording everything. Every scan, every transmission, every detail about those ships. Earth Command needs to know what we're facing. As the Defiant turned away from the alien fleet, Jake took one last look at the massive ships. In 7 days, those weapons would be pointed at human colonies. Millions of people would die. But something bothered Jake about the aliens. They were so confident, so sure of their victory. They had laughed at human technology like it was a joke. Maybe that confidence would be their weakness. Set course for Earth, Jake ordered. Maximum speed. The Defiant raced through space, carrying the worst news in human history. Behind them, the Zephyrian fleet waited, already planning the destruction of humanity. Admiral Zool stood on his bridge, still amused by the humans' pathetic attempt at diplomacy. Soon, he would add another species to his list of conquests. The humans would learn what happened when primitives dared to challenge the Zephyrian Empire. But the Admiral had made one mistake. He had underestimated his enemy, and that mistake would cost him everything. Admiral Lisa Carter stood in the war room deep inside Luna Base, staring at the holographic display of the solar system. Red dots marked the position of the alien fleet. In 6 days, they would attack human colonies, unless Earth surrendered. How long until Commander Morrison arrives? She asked. The Defiant will dock in 2 hours, replied her aide. The crew is exhausted, but they made record time getting back here. Lisa nodded. She had already seen Morrison's preliminary report. 200 alien warships, each one capable of destroying a human city with a single shot. The numbers were terrifying. Dr. Marcus Webb burst through the door, his lab coat wrinkled and his hair messy. He had been working nonstop for 3 days. Admiral, I need to show you something, Marcus said, breathing hard. Project Thunder is ready. Lisa raised an eyebrow. Project Thunder was supposed to take another year to complete. Are you sure it's safe to test? We don't have a choice, Marcus replied. The aliens think our weapons are toys. Let's show them what human toys can really do. They walked quickly through the corridors of Luna Base toward the weapons testing facility. Lisa had helped design this base herself. It was built inside a crater on the far side of the moon, hidden from Earth and protected by layers of rock and metal. In the testing lab, Marcus led her to a window overlooking a large chamber. Inside the chamber sat a cannon, unlike anything Lisa had ever seen. It was sleek and silver, with energy coils running along its length. This is our plasma pulse cannon, Marcus explained. It takes the energy from a fusion reactor and focuses it into a beam. The aliens vaporized that asteroid with their weakest weapon. This thing could vaporize their strongest ship. How many do we have? Lisa asked. 12, Marcus said. I've been working around the clock with every engineer and scientist on Luna Base. We also have something else. He led her to another chamber. This one contained torpedoes that seemed to shimmer and bend light around them. Quantum torpedoes, Marcus said proudly. They don't just explode. They create a temporary rift in space-time. Anything caught in the blast zone gets pulled into another dimension. Lisa stared at the weapons. They looked alien themselves, far more advanced than anything humans had built before. How did you develop these so quickly? We've been working on theoretical designs for years, Marcus explained. When Morrison's report came in, I knew we had to try everything. These weapons are untested, but the computer simulations show they should work. A young officer ran up to them. Admiral Carter, Captain Brooks is here for the briefing. Lisa turned to see Captain Ryan Brooks walking toward them. Ryan was young for a captain, only 32 years old, but he was the best pilot in the Earth Defense Force. More importantly, he was the only captain willing to command an untested warship. Ryan, good to see you, Lisa said. Are you ready for this? Ryan grinned. I've been ready my whole life, Admiral. Show me my ship. They took a transport to the construction bay on the other side of Luna Base. When the doors opened, Ryan whistled softly. The USS Vengeance floated in the center of the bay, held in place by magnetic clamps. It was smaller than the alien ships, but it looked deadly. Its hull was black metal that seemed to absorb light. Weapon ports lined its sides like the eyes of a predator. She's beautiful, Ryan said quietly. She's also completely experimental, Lisa warned. The engines use a new fusion design. The weapons have never been fired in combat. The hull armor is made from a titanium carbon composite we invented last month. What about crew? Ryan asked. I've handpicked 50 of our best people, Lisa replied. They all volunteered, knowing this might be a one-way mission. Ryan nodded. When do we launch? Tomorrow morning, Lisa said. The aliens are moving toward the New Texas colony. If you can delay them, even for a day, it gives us time to evacuate civilians and prepare defenses. Meanwhile, in the outer system, Admiral Zool sat in his command chair aboard the Stellar Dominion. His fleet was moving slowly toward the human colony, giving the primitives time to panic and surrender. Admiral, his tactical officer reported, our scouts indicate the humans are evacuating their outer colonies. They appear to be fleeing in terror. Admiral Zool smiled. Excellent. Fear makes conquest easier. Have you detected any military response? Nothing significant, sir. A few small patrol ships, but they keep their distance. The humans seem to know they cannot fight us. Of course they cannot, Admiral Zool said. Have you analyzed their weapons technology? Yes, Admiral. Their most powerful warship carries projectile weapons and primitive missiles. Their energy weapons are barely more advanced than our training equipment. One of our cruisers could destroy their entire fleet. Admiral Zool stood and walked to the main viewing window. Space stretched out before him, filled with stars and the promise of conquest. Soon, this system would belong to the Zephyrian Empire, like so many others. How many species have we conquered? He asked his aide. 1,043 confirmed conquests, sir. 17 species chose to surrender without fighting. The rest were eliminated. And how many ever surprised us? None, sir. Our intelligence gathering is perfect. Our technology is superior. Our tactics are proven. Admiral Zool nodded. This conquest would be like all the others. Quick, decisive, and brutal. The humans would learn what happened when a primitive species tried to stand against the Zephyrian Empire. Back on Luna Base, Major Elena Vasquez was preparing her special operations team. If the aliens decided to board human ships or stations, her Marines would be ready. Listen up, she told her squad leaders. Intelligence says these aliens are physically stronger than us, and they have better armor. But they've never fought humans before. They don't know how stubborn we can be. Sergeant Alex Thompson raised his hand. Major, what's our mission if they attack civilian colonies? We evacuate who we can and slow them down, Elena replied. Every minute we buy could save thousands of lives. The preparation continued through the night. Engineers worked on the Vengeance, installing the new weapons and running final tests. Communications officers tried to contact other human colonies, warning them to evacuate. Medical teams prepared emergency supplies. Dr. Webb worked with Captain Brooks and his crew, explaining how to operate the new weapons. The plasma cannon needs 30 seconds to charge between shots, Marcus explained. But when it fires, it puts out more energy than our biggest nuclear weapon. The quantum torpedoes are fire and forget. Once you launch them, they'll find their target automatically. Lieutenant Commander Nina Foster, the Vengeance's tactical officer, studied the weapon controls. Doctor, how many shots do we get? The plasma cannon can fire 20 times before the reactor needs to cool down, Marcus replied. You have 6 quantum torpedoes. Use them wisely. What about the alien weapons? Nina asked. We don't know exactly how they work, Marcus admitted, but Commander Morrison's scans suggest they use some kind of focused energy beam. Your new armor should protect you from a few hits, but don't count on it. Captain Brooks looked around at his crew. They were young, scared, but determined. Tomorrow they would face an enemy that had conquered 1,000 worlds. They would be outgunned and outnumbered, but they were human, and humans had a habit of winning fights they were supposed to lose. Get some rest, Brooks told his crew. Tomorrow we show these aliens what humans are really made of. As the night passed, both sides prepared for war. The aliens moved confidently toward their target, certain of victory. The humans worked frantically to prepare their defenses, knowing they faced almost impossible odds. In a few hours, the real fight would begin, and the galaxy would learn whether human determination could overcome alien arrogance. The Vengeance floated in its bay, dark and silent, waiting for its first battle. Soon it would carry humanity's hopes into the darkness of space, where it would face an enemy that had never known defeat. But the aliens had made one crucial mistake. They had assumed that advanced technology always beat primitive weapons. They were about to learn that sometimes the most dangerous enemy is the one you underestimate. The USS Vengeance moved through space like a shadow. Captain Ryan Brooks sat in his command chair, watching the tactical display as they approached the new Texas system. The alien fleet was already there, beginning their attack on the orbital stations. Contact in 30 minutes, sir, reported Lieutenant Commander Nina Foster from the tactical station. Ryan could see the destruction on the long-range sensors. Bright flashes marked where alien weapons struck human targets. Each flash meant hundreds of people were dying. Any word from the evacuation ships? Ryan asked. Communications Officer Amy Rodriguez, who had transferred from the Defiant, checked her console. Most of the civilian transports got away, sir, but the orbital defense platforms are still fighting. Ryan nodded. The defense platforms didn't stand a chance against the alien weapons, but they were buying time for the last refugees to escape. Sir, Nina called out, I'm reading the alien fleet formation. 50 ships in attack formation around the planet. The rest are hanging back, probably thinking this is too easy. Chief Engineer Ben Parker, also transferred from the Defiant, spoke from his station. All systems green, Captain. The new reactor is running perfectly. Weapons are charged and ready. Ryan took a deep breath. This was it. One human ship against 200 alien vessels. The smart thing would be to run away and live to fight another day. But Ryan had never been accused of being too smart. Amy, open a channel to the alien flagship, he ordered. Sir? Amy looked confused. What are you going to say? I'm going to get their attention, Ryan replied with a grim smile. The main screen flickered, and Admiral Zool's hideous face appeared. The alien looked annoyed at being interrupted. What is this? Zool demanded. Another primitive ship comes to beg for mercy? This is Captain Ryan Brooks of the USS Vengeance, Ryan said calmly. I'm here to discuss terms. Admiral Zool laughed, the same horrible sound that had chilled Commander Morrison. Terms? You have 1 ship, we have 200. What terms could you possibly offer? The terms of your surrender, Ryan said. The laughter stopped. Admiral Zool stared at Ryan like he had just said something impossible. Did you demand our surrender? The alien asked slowly. That's right, Ryan replied. You have 60 seconds to withdraw from this system, or we'll be forced to destroy your fleet. The silence on the alien bridge was complete. Then Admiral Zool began laughing again, harder than before. Soon his entire crew was laughing with him. Destroy our fleet? Zool gasped between laughs. One tiny human ship will destroy 200 Zephyrian warships? This is the best joke I have heard in centuries. 59 seconds, Ryan said, checking his watch. Communications officer, Admiral Zool called to one of his crew. Record this. Future generations will want to see the moment when a primitive species showed such magnificent stupidity. 30 seconds, Ryan announced. Admiral Zool wiped tears from his eyes. Human captain, your bravery is amusing, but this game has gone on long enough. Surrender now, and I will kill you quickly instead of slowly. 10 seconds, Ryan said. He looked around at his crew. They were scared, but they were ready. Nina, target the nearest cruiser. Ben, give me everything the reactor has got. Time's up, Ryan announced. Nina, fire. The plasma pulse cannon charged with a sound like thunder. Energy coursed through the weapon's coils, building to impossible levels. Then it fired. A beam of pure energy, brighter than a star, lanced out from the Vengeance. It struck the alien cruiser dead center. For a moment, the massive ship glowed like a sun. Then it simply vanished, vaporized completely. The laughter on Admiral Zul's bridge died instantly. What? Zul whispered, staring at the empty space where his cruiser had been. How is this possible? That was our warning shot, Ryan said calmly. Would you like to reconsider your position? Admiral Zul's face twisted with rage. All ships! Destroy that human vessel, now! The alien fleet turned toward the Vengeance like a pack of angry wolves. Energy beams and missiles filled the space around the human ship. Evasive maneuvers, Ryan shouted. Nina, keep firing. The Vengeance twisted and spun through space, dodging alien weapons with impossible grace. The new engines responded to the pilot's commands like they were reading his mind. The plasma cannon fired again, striking a second alien ship. This one didn't vanish completely, but it broke apart in a massive explosion. 2 down, Nina reported. But they're getting closer, sir. We can't dodge forever. Then we don't dodge, Ryan said. Ben, transfer all power to forward shields. Nina, prepare quantum torpedoes. The Vengeance suddenly accelerated directly toward the alien fleet. Energy beams struck its shields, but the new armor held. Warning lights flashed on the bridge as the shields took damage. Torpedo away! Nina called out. The quantum torpedo spiraled through space, weaving between alien ships like it was alive. It struck a massive battleship and exploded. But this wasn't a normal explosion. Space itself seemed to tear open, creating a swirling vortex of impossible colors. The battleship was pulled into the rift and disappeared. 2 nearby cruisers were caught in the effect and vanished as well. What kind of weapon was that? Admiral Zul screamed at his officers. Unknown, sir, his tactical officer replied. Our sensors cannot identify the technology. The Vengeance spun away from the alien fleet, having destroyed 6 ships in less than 5 minutes. But the aliens were learning. They began to coordinate their attacks, trying to trap the human ship. Sir, we're taking heavy damage, Ben reported. Shields down to 40%. Nina, how many quantum torpedoes do we have left? Ryan asked. 4, sir. But if we use them all here, we won't have any for the main battle. Ryan made a quick decision. Fire 2 more, then we run. We've made our point. 2 more quantum torpedoes streaked out, each one destroying another alien ship. The Vengeance's plasma cannon fired one last time, vaporizing a cruiser that got too close. Ben, get us out of here, Ryan ordered. The Vengeance accelerated away from the alien fleet, leaving behind the wreckage of 8 destroyed ships. Admiral Zul watched them go, his face pale with shock. Admiral, his tactical officer said quietly, we've lost 8 ships to 1 human vessel. How is this possible? Admiral Zul stared at the tactical display. 8 of his ships, gone. Destroyed by primitives who weren't supposed to have any real weapons. Send a message to High Command, he said slowly. Tell them we may have underestimated the humans. What are your orders regarding the fleet? His first officer asked. Admiral Zul looked at the space where his ships had died. Continue the attack on the colony, but keep the fleet together, and send scouts to track that human ship. I want to know where it goes and what other surprises these humans might have. Aboard the Vengeance, Ryan and his crew celebrated their impossible victory. They had faced 200 enemy ships and lived to tell about it. Damage report, Ryan asked. Shields recharging, Ben replied. Hull damage minimal. We can keep fighting. Sir, Amy called out. I'm receiving transmissions from across human space. Word of our victory is spreading fast. Morale is going through the roof. Ryan smiled. They had done more than just destroy 8 alien ships. They had shown the galaxy that humans could fight back. They had proven that the mighty Zephyrian Empire could bleed. Set course for Luna Base, Ryan ordered. Admiral Carter needs to know what we learned about their weapons and tactics. As the Vengeance raced toward home, Admiral Zul continued his attack on New Texas. But something had changed. His crew was nervous. His officers kept looking at their sensor displays, watching for more human ships. For the first time in centuries, the Zephyrian Empire had tasted defeat, and Admiral Zool was beginning to realize that this war might not be as easy as he had thought. The humans had shown their hand. They had new weapons, new tactics, and new determination. The aliens still had superior numbers, but numbers meant nothing if your enemy could destroy your ships faster than you could count them. In the depths of space, the real war was just beginning. And for the first time since the conflict started, Admiral Zool was not sure his side would win. News of the Vengeance's victory spread across human space like wildfire. In the command center on Luna Base, Admiral Lisa Carter watched reports flood in from every human colony and outpost. "Admiral," her communications officer reported, "we're getting messages from resistance groups on occupied worlds. They're asking for weapons and support." Lisa nodded. The victory at New Texas had done more than destroy 8 alien ships. It had given humanity hope, and hope was a powerful weapon. Dr. Marcus Webb rushed into the command center, his face bright with excitement. "Lisa, you need to see this. We've been analyzing the wreckage from the alien ships." "What did you find?" Lisa asked. "Their technology isn't as advanced as we thought," Marcus explained. "It's just different. They use brute force where we use precision. Their ships are huge and powerful, but they're also slow and clumsy." "What does that mean for us?" "It means we can beat them," Marcus said with a grin. "I've already started production on 50 more ships like the Vengeance. We'll have them ready in 2 weeks. Before Lisa could respond, Commander Jake Morrison entered the room. He looked tired, but determined. "Admiral, I have a request," Jake said. "I want to command a squadron of the new ships. Let me take the fight to the aliens." "Jake, you've done enough," Lisa replied. "You've already risked your life once." "With respect, Admiral, we're all risking our lives," Jake said. "The aliens think they can conquer us because we're primitive. Let's show them how wrong they are." Lisa considered his words. Jake was right. This war wouldn't be won by playing it safe. "Fine," she said, "but you'll follow Ryan Brooks's lead. He has more experience with the new weapons." 3 days later, the USS Vengeance led a squadron of 5 new ships toward the Proxima Centauri system. The aliens had conquered it 2 days ago and were using it as a staging area for their next attack. Captain Ryan Brooks sat in his command chair, studying the tactical display. The alien fleet had grown to over 300 ships as reinforcements arrived from their empire. "Contacts ahead," reported Lieutenant Commander Nina Foster. "I count 320 alien vessels. They're in standard formation around the main planet." Commander Jake Morrison's voice came over the comm from his ship, the USS Defiant II. "Ryan, those are long odds, even for us." "That's why we're not fighting fair," Ryan replied. "Remember the plan. Hit and run. Don't let them surround us." The human squadron approached the system from the dark side, using the planet's gravity to hide their approach. The new ships were equipped with stealth technology that made them almost invisible to alien sensors. "Target selection complete," Nina announced. "I have locks on their supply ships and command vessels." "All ships, begin attack," Ryan ordered. 5 human ships dropped out of stealth simultaneously and opened fire. Plasma cannons lit up the darkness as they struck alien targets. Quantum torpedoes created rifts in space that swallowed entire ships. In the first 30 seconds, 15 alien vessels were destroyed. Admiral Zool, commanding from his flagship, watched in horror as his fleet came under attack. "Where did they come from?" he screamed at his tactical officer. "Unknown, sir. They appeared on sensors just as they opened fire. All ships return fire. Destroy those humans." The alien fleet turned to engage the human squadron, but the humans were already moving. The new ships scattered in different directions, forcing the aliens to split their fire. Jake Morrison's ship dove toward the planet's surface, using the atmosphere to confuse alien targeting systems. His plasma cannon fired repeatedly, each shot destroying or crippling an alien cruiser. Meanwhile, Ryan Brooks led 2 other ships in a high-speed attack on the alien command group. The Vengeance's quantum torpedoes tore holes in space, swallowing Admiral Zool's escort ships. "Sir, we've lost 40 ships in 5 minutes, Zool's tactical officer reported. "Impossible," Zool muttered. "How are 5 human ships destroying 40 of ours?" The answer was simple. The humans weren't fighting like the aliens expected. Instead of meeting force with force, they used speed and surprise. Instead of standing and fighting, they struck and vanished. "Admiral," his first officer said, "perhaps we should withdraw and request more reinforcements." "No," Zul shouted. "We outnumber them 60 to 1. We will not retreat from primitives." But even as he spoke, more alien ships exploded under human fire. The quantum torpedoes were especially effective, each one eliminating multiple targets. Commander Jake Morrison found himself surrounded by 6 alien cruisers. Instead of trying to fight his way out, he did something unexpected. He flew directly at the largest ship. "Defiant 2 to all ships," he broadcast. "Watch this." At the last second, Jake's ship rolled under the alien cruiser and fired its plasma cannon at point-blank range. The alien ship exploded, taking 2 of its escorts with it. "Jake, that was insane," Ryan's voice came over the comm. "Insane like a human," Jake replied with a laugh. The battle continued for 2 hours. The human ships darted in and out of the alien formation, never staying in one place long enough to be cornered. When their weapons ran low, they retreated to reload and repair. But the aliens weren't learning. They kept trying to surround the humans with brute force instead of using tactics. Every time they thought they had a human ship trapped, it would slip away and strike somewhere else. Finally, Admiral Zul had enough. "All ships, withdraw to the outer system. We'll wait for reinforcements." The alien fleet pulled back, leaving behind the wreckage of over 100 ships. The human squadron had lost no ships and suffered only minor damage. "Well, that was educational," Ryan said as the human ships regrouped. "Sir," Nina reported, "we're receiving a transmission from the planet. It's from human prisoners." The main screen flickered, showing a young woman in torn clothing. Behind her, other humans could be seen in what looked like a prison camp. "This is Sarah Williams," the woman said. "We're civilians from the research station. The aliens captured us when they took the system. Are you here to rescue us?" Ryan looked at Jake's image on the communication screen. They had come here to fight aliens, not rescue prisoners, but they couldn't leave humans behind. "Sarah, this is Captain Brooks. We're going to get you out of there. How many prisoners are there?" "About 3,000, Sarah replied. "Scientists, families, children. The aliens are using us as workers." "We'll be back," Ryan promised. "Hold on." Over the next week, the human squadron conducted rescue operations across 3 star systems. They freed prisoners, destroyed alien supply lines, and showed occupied worlds that humanity was fighting back. Word of their victories reached other alien species that the Zephyrians had conquered. Some of these species began their own rebellions, inspired by human courage. Dr. Marcus Webb worked around the clock to build more ships and weapons. Soon, humanity had 20 ships equipped with the new technology. Then 50, then 100. Admiral Lisa Carter coordinated the growing fleet from Luna Base. Reports came in daily of human victories and alien retreats. "The aliens are requesting reinforcements from their home worlds," her intelligence officer reported. "They're admitting they underestimated us." "How many reinforcements?" Lisa asked. "At least 500 ships, Admiral. Maybe more." Lisa nodded grimly. The aliens were finally taking humanity seriously. That was good and bad. Good because it meant the humans were winning. Bad because it meant the real war was just beginning. Admiral Zul sat in his quarters aboard the Stellar Dominion, staring at reports of defeat after defeat. In 2 weeks, he had lost over 200 ships to the humans. His reputation as an unbeatable commander was in ruins. His first officer entered with another report. "Admiral, High Command is sending the 3rd Battle Fleet to assist us. 500 ships, including the Imperial Dreadnought." Zul looked up. The Imperial Dreadnought was the largest ship in the Zephyrian fleet, capable of destroying planets. If they were sending it, High Command was taking the human threat seriously. "When will they arrive?" Zul asked. 2 weeks, sir," Zul nodded. 2 weeks to prepare for the final battle. This time, there would be no underestimating the humans. This time, he would bring enough firepower to crush them completely. But as he studied the tactical reports, Admiral Zul couldn't shake a growing worry. The humans kept surprising him. Every time he thought he understood their capabilities, they revealed something new. What other surprises did humanity have waiting for him? In the depths of space, both sides prepared for the decisive battle. The aliens brought overwhelming numbers and firepower. The humans brought determination and the element of surprise. Soon, the galaxy would learn which was stronger. The largest fleet in Zephyrian history approached the Sol system. 800 warships, including the massive Imperial dreadnought, moved through space like a dark cloud of death. Admiral Zool stood on the bridge of his flagship, watching Earth grow larger on the main screen. "Today we end this embarrassment," Zool announced to his crew. "The humans have been lucky, but luck runs out. Today we show the galaxy what happens when primitives challenge the Zephyrian Empire." His communications officer looked up from her station. "Admiral, should we offer the humans a final chance to surrender?" Zool's eyes glowed with hatred. "No, no mercy, no prisoners. Today we exterminate the human species completely." He activated the fleet-wide communication system. "Attention all ships. When we reach Earth, we will destroy every human ship, every space station, and every city on the planet. Nothing will remain but ash and silence." But Admiral Zool had no idea what waited for him in Earth's solar system. On Luna Base, Admiral Lisa Carter watched the alien fleet approach. The tactical display showed their numbers clearly. 800 ships against humanity's 200. The odds were terrible, but Lisa was not afraid. "Dr. Webb, are the stations ready?" she asked. Marcus Webb smiled grimly. "All 12 quantum defense stations are online and hidden. The aliens have no idea they're there." "What about the fleet?" "Captain Brooks and the Liberty are ready to lead our ships. Commander Morrison has his squadron positioned behind Jupiter. Major Vasquez has her Marines standing by for boarding actions." Lisa nodded. Everything was in place. The humans had spent weeks preparing for this battle. Now it was time to see if their planning would work. "Open a channel to all human ships," Lisa ordered. Captain Ryan Brooks appeared on the screen from the bridge of humanity's new flagship, the USS Liberty. Behind him, his crew worked calmly at their stations. "Ryan, it's time," Lisa said simply. "Understood, Admiral. We're ready to show these aliens what humans can really do." The alien fleet moved past Neptune, then Uranus, heading directly for Earth. Admiral Zool expected to see human ships fleeing in panic. Instead, space seemed empty except for a few small patrol craft. "Where is their fleet?" Zool demanded. "Sensors show minimal activity, sir," his tactical officer replied. "Perhaps they are hiding behind their moon." "Cowards," Zool sneered. "When we get closer, they will have no choice but to fight." The alien fleet passed Saturn, then Jupiter. Still no sign of the main human force. Admiral Zool began to feel uneasy. This was too easy. Suddenly, space erupted around his fleet. 12 hidden defense stations revealed themselves, rising from behind asteroids and space debris. Each station was equipped with the most powerful weapons humanity had ever built. Plasma cannons and quantum torpedo launchers opened fire simultaneously. The first volley destroyed 30 alien ships instantly. Quantum torpedoes created tears in space that swallowed entire squadrons. Plasma beams cut through alien hulls like they were made of paper. "Impossible!" Admiral Zool screamed. "Where did those stations come from?" Before his officers could answer, the human fleet attacked from 3 directions at once. Captain Brooks led the main force from behind the moon. Commander Morrison's squadron struck from the asteroid belt. A third group emerged from hiding near Mars. The USS Liberty led the charge, its weapons blazing. The new human ships moved with perfect coordination, their quantum communication systems allowing them to work together like a single organism. "All ships, engage the enemy," Admiral Zool ordered. "Destroy those stations." The Zephyrian fleet tried to respond, but they were surrounded and confused. Human ships darted between the alien formations, striking and vanishing before the aliens could return fire. Lieutenant Commander Nina Foster, now serving on the Liberty, coordinated the attack. "Quantum torpedoes away, direct hits on the enemy dreadnought." 3 quantum torpedoes struck the Imperial dreadnought, each one tearing massive holes in its hull. The giant ship began to list as atmosphere poured from its wounds. Admiral Zool watched in horror as his fleet was systematically destroyed. "How are they doing this? Their ships are smaller than ours." "Sir," his tactical officer replied, "they're using coordinated attacks. Every human ship knows exactly where every other ship is. They're fighting like they share one mind." That was exactly right. The quantum communication network allowed human ships to coordinate in ways the aliens had never seen. When one ship needed help, others appeared instantly. When targets needed to be eliminated, multiple ships focused fire with perfect timing. Commander Jake Morrison led his squadron in a daring attack on the alien command group. His ship, the Defiant II, dove through the enemy formation while quantum torpedoes cleared a path. "This is for everyone you killed," Jake said as he fired directly into an alien battleship's reactor core. The explosion took out 3 more ships and damaged a dozen others. Meanwhile, Major Elena Vasquez led boarding parties against alien vessels that had been disabled but not destroyed. Her Marines used the chaos of battle to capture enemy ships and learn their secrets. "Sergeant Thompson, take your squad to the engine room," Elena ordered as they fought through an alien cruiser. "Let's see what makes these things tick." Sergeant Alex Thompson and his Marines fought their way through corridors filled with desperate aliens. The enemy soldiers were tough, but they had never faced human determination in close combat. "Major, we've reached the engine room," Alex reported. "These aliens might be advanced, but they sure don't know how to fight in their own ships." Back in the main battle, Admiral Zool realized his fleet was doomed. In less than an hour, he had lost over 400 ships. The humans had lost only 20. "Sir," his first officer said quietly, "we should consider retreat." "Never!" Zool shouted. "Signal the Imperial Dreadnought. Ram that human flagship. If we're going to die, we'll take them with us." The massive dreadnought, badly damaged but still functional, turned toward the USS Liberty. Its engines flared to life as it accelerated on a collision course. Captain Brooks saw the alien ship coming. "Nina, can we stop that thing?" "Not with conventional weapons, sir. It's too big and too heavily armored." Ryan made a split-second decision. "All power to forward shields, ramming speed." "Sir?" Nina looked shocked. "We can't ram something that size." "Watch me," Ryan said with a grim smile. The Liberty accelerated directly toward the dreadnought. At the last second, Ryan ordered every weapon to fire simultaneously. Plasma cannons and quantum torpedoes struck the alien ship's damaged sections. The dreadnought broke apart just before impact, its pieces scattering harmlessly around the Liberty. Admiral Zool watched his greatest ship die and felt something he had never experienced before: complete defeat. "Admiral," his communications officer said, "the remaining ships are requesting permission to surrender." Zool looked around his bridge. Dead aliens lay everywhere. His tactical displays showed only scattered survivors from his once mighty fleet. "Open a channel to the human flagship," he said quietly. Captain Brooks' face appeared on the screen. Behind him, his crew worked calmly, like they had just finished a routine patrol instead of the greatest space battle in history. "Admiral Zool," Ryan said politely, "I believe you wanted to discuss terms." Zool stared at the human captain. This primitive, this insect, had destroyed the greatest fleet in Zephyrian history. "How?" Zool asked simply. "How did you defeat us?" "We had superior numbers, superior technology, superior firepower." Ryan leaned back in his captain's chair. "You had one weakness, Admiral. You underestimated your enemy. You laughed at our technology. You thought we were primitive insects." "But you are primitive," Zool protested weakly. "Maybe," Ryan agreed. "But we learned something important in this war. It's not about having the biggest ships or the most powerful weapons. It's about using what you have better than your enemy uses what they have." "Impossible," Zool whispered. "You want to know the real difference between us?" Ryan asked. "When we saw your ships for the first time, we didn't laugh. We got scared. And scared humans are dangerous humans." Admiral Zool looked at his ruined fleet, then back at the human captain. "What are your terms?" "Withdraw from all human space," Ryan said. "Free all prisoners and slaves. Sign a non-aggression treaty. Do that, and we'll let your surviving ships go home." "And if we refuse?" Ryan's smile was cold. "Then we finish what you started. And trust me, Admiral, you don't want us to finish it." Zool closed his eyes. The Zephyrian Empire had conquered 1,000 worlds, but they had never faced anything like humanity. These primitives had turned their greatest strength, their arrogance, into weakness. "We agree to your terms," Zul said finally. The battle for Earth was over. The Zephyrian Empire, which had seemed unstoppable, was retreating in defeat. Across the galaxy, other species that had been conquered by the aliens began to rise up, inspired by humanity's victory. Captain Brooks stood on the bridge of the Liberty, looking out at the wreckage of the alien fleet. His crew was celebrating, but Ryan felt no joy. Too many people had died in this war. "Sir," Nina said, "we're receiving messages from across human space. Every colony, every outpost, everyone is celebrating our victory." Ryan nodded. "Send a message to Admiral Carter. Tell her the threat is over. Earth is safe." "What about us, sir?" Nina asked. "What do we do now?" Ryan looked out at the stars. The galaxy was a big place, full of species that had been enslaved by the Zephyrians. They would need help rebuilding. They would need protection from other threats. "Now we do what humans do best," Ryan said. "We help those who need it. We explore, we learn, and we make sure something like this never happens again." The war was over, but humanity's journey among the stars was just beginning. The species that had been laughed at and dismissed as primitive had proven that sometimes the most dangerous enemy is the one you underestimate. Admiral Zul's smile had been wiped away forever, and the galaxy would never forget the day that Earth's children showed what humans were really made of.